It started out kind of like as a nickname for me, because basically what a drug addict does at one point or another begins selling dreams, you know. And I was a guy who could sell a blind man a pair of glasses, anything to get $10, you know. So that's where we came up with the whole Dreamseller concept. And
And you got really good at it, apparently. You know, part about being a drug addict is what a lot of people don't understand is a lot of it is being able to be a con artist. You know, it's being able to extract money from people who wouldn't ordinarily give you money, who know that they're making a bad decision by giving it to you. And you got, you know, it's amazing that, you know, someone of your background who was brought up well, and you knew right from wrong, and you knew good from bad. Your mother's a saint. Let's face it. You know, it's the fact that you could turn out that way. What are some of the things in your life that attributed to this lifestyle, which made you start making these bad decisions, where you had so much going for you?
One thing that I didn't write about in this book because this person wasn't willing to sign off a release, and they would have caused a lot of lawsuits and problems with my father. And he was complete hell. You know, he was addicted to crack, cocaine, heroin, alcohol, pills, you name it. And still to this day he is. And as a kid growing up, I remember I never wanted to be like this guy. I would do anything to not be like him. So I remember when he would come home at like 2:30, 3 in the morning every night, Monday through Monday, we would dread hearing the keys come in the door, you know, in the lock, because we knew mayhem was soon to ensue. And, you know, seeing and witnessing some of the things that me, my mother, and my brother and sister witnessed growing up, you know, I believe addiction runs in genes, personally. I've been in enough rehabs and had enough counselors. I believe that. Could be wrong, but that's what I believe. And my sister and brother didn't turn out addicts, but they're from another one of my mother's husbands prior to me. And you know, I just remember him coming home and and the same, and that's the sick thing about addiction, the same guy that I never wanted to be, I turned out a spitting in the gut, you know? And I always swore, this can't happen to me. I won't be that guy eating our dumpsters. I won't be living in the abandoned houses. I won't be doing this and that and that. And I did, you know? And that's something that I really want to get across in this book, that I didn't want to glamorize the drug addiction uses of, you know, of drugs. And I think that the fan base that we have from the show and the people that watch us is of an age where it's really important to know that this is like, you know, for like the 16-year-olds and 15, that's the make or break point, you know? That's kind of at later age of 16, early 17, I had a needle in my arm, you know? But I was just smoking weed at first, drinking a bit here and there, and I had no idea what would ensue. And
yeah, that's what a lot of people don't understand about a drug addiction. Like, you know, we're not here to preach. You know, this obviously isn't, you know, a DARE counseling program or anything like that, but, you know, Brandon's story really does follow the archetypical drug addict, where it's begun with a few beers at a party, you know, graduate to a little pot here and there, you know, and then on to the harder stuff as time goes on. But there were just so many bad influences around people all the time, and a lot of people don't understand about the nature of addiction is that you're always an addict once you begin that lifestyle. It's not so much the drugs itself that make you an addict, it's being addicted to that lifestyle. There's a lot of different types of highs that a person can achieve. It's not just putting a needle into your arm or popping a pill. You know, you get, your mind goes through a series of neurochemical processes which changes your body chemistry and changes how you feel. Your adrenaline and your hormones and you know, all of your brain chemistry gives you different highs. Like you can achieve a high by scamming money off someone that's close to you. You can achieve a high by driving to a location and scoring dope. You can achieve like another high going to fix a shot, and then, you know, your body kind of peaks when you stick the needle in your arm. And then when you have counseling and you wean yourself off of drugs, you're always just one bad decision away from going through that cycle of addiction again. Have you talked to Scott lately?
It's funny, actually. I talked to Scott. I just flew back in from LA today. I was in LA for the last 2 weeks. But as soon as the plane lands in LA, Scott calls me. And if you guys have read the book, he's my sponsor, he's my mentor. He's someone that I thought would never fail. And he owns a lot of recovery houses. He has his hands on a lot of different things. And he's living in one of his recovery houses, but he couldn't, so he fell off, you know. He started using it big time. And everyone seemed to be so fed up with him that he was like, what are you doing? Where are you at right now? He's like, and he has a wife and kids, but he just needs to get out of here because he couldn't handle a 9 o'clock curfew. You know what I mean? Like I just see addiction prone all over again. I see it. I've said the same thing, you know? And he really thought he was comedy, but he wasn't, you know? And that's sad.
What was the allure of drug use when you were on your way to becoming pro? What was it that made you make these bad decisions? Like, what was it that allows you to let go of all of your dreams and everything that you had worked so hard for from the time you picked up a skateboard? What made you just let go of it all? What was it about using drugs that made that happen?
Well, I think honestly, you know, growing up the way I did and skateboarding and stuff, my mother trusted me around skateboarders, so she would let me go at a young age and be around skateboarders. And then when I got sponsored and I started flying around the world, doing all these things, I had no guidance, no supervision. And then I started seeing the other side of things, and I liked that. You know, I like the fact of not having to answer to anybody. I like the fact that I had no responsibilities, no cares in the world. All I had to do was think about skateboarding and skateboard, and people were happy with that. And then somewhere along the line, and I really, you know, it's a process. I can't say the first time, but, you know, I started drinking and blah, blah, blah. I started getting high, and I remember the day my team manager called me and he said, look, Novak, we know what you're doing, and you have 2 options. And now I'm the guy who, for my first skateboard, the very first day I got my skateboard, I wanted to sleep with him. My mother said, why? I said, because if I die, I want my skateboard to go with me. Someone who had that much passion about something, within the blink of an eye, said to my team manager, either A, rehab, or B, we have to cut you from the team. I quit the team completely. You know, all my cares were gone. It was just much easier. It's the easier way out to get high instead of like jumping down 15 stairs and breaking your arm or breaking your leg.